Oops. And like, so that's really good. And at that point, you can build gateways like this. You can just make these bricks of gateway, and so you click all these and you hit G, and you got these things going on. And then now these are all turning into warp gates. Also, it doesn't matter that they're close to each other. Like the guys come out in weird angles because typically we've got production. They come out on the south side of the building. It doesn't matter anymore because now I hit W. I got 11 gateways. It's like, are you kidding me? Now I can just not gateways, warp gates. Keep calling them gateways. I can warp in. I got a threat here. I'm over here, and I warp in my zealots. I warp in my High Templars. I warp in my stalkers, etc. You can just go to town with that sort of thing. And another interesting strategy is, you come in here and you're like, all right, I got my stalkers in here, and you're going around and you got some attack planned. I don't know what you're doing, but you come up to someone's base. Let's say this is someone's base in here, and you come out here and you say, all right, let's do some shenanigans. And you unload next to this mineral line or somewhere that an opening is defense. And you start doing your stalker thing, and you're just doing it. And you teleport away, and you're chasing his base. You got attention diverted somewhere else in his base. Well, this guy I showed you earlier has the ability you can do to this power grid, and that becomes another thing you can use your warp gates with. So you hit W, you go Z Z Z Z Z or whatever you want into that, and then boom, you got more units in his base, and he's chasing these things around Robin Hood's barn trying to find you, and you're like Sneaky McSneakerson back here in his base. So those are some interesting Protoss strategies. It requires a little bit of clicking, but it's a good reward though. You pull that off, and you're like, yeah, I'm basically amazing. So yeah, so those are some interesting Protoss strategies. I'm going to say that like you're going to play Protoss, and you're just going to, when you first start playing, maybe you're going to see people making 100,000 zealots, and you're going to see people making a bunch of immortals and a bunch of just crap, and just grouping all their stuff, hitting A and attacking into someone's base. And Protoss can do that because they're so powerful. Like their units are really tough. But if you want to really understand this faction, you got to understand the intricacies of it, and the warp function is definitely one. I don't really understand what you have the option to turn warp gates back into a gateway if you want, and I don't know what the bonus of that is, except if you're not like this high APM guy and you just need some warp gates, but you just want to have these guys kind of streamlined, producing zealots. I need a bunch of forces, and I can't be mess with hitting W every 10 seconds or however long it is and warping in zealots on a pylon grid. So anyway, but you have the option to go back if you need so. I'm sure there'll be like reasons people will figure out later why, but if you're quick with clicking, then like if you're got yourself multitasking good, then you probably won't need to use that because the units don't come out any different. Like I don't know. It's all bonus for warp gates. So yeah. Another popular tactic to do is Dark Templar drops or Dark Templars, just shenanigans in general. This is the cloaked unit I mentioned earlier that has a powerful melee attack. What's interesting about him is that he can kill Zerg and Protoss workers in one hit. Unfortunately, SCVs are too fat and they take 2. But you can do this sort of thing. It's just as simple as it sounds. Get in the back of his base, and what I would suggest is to get his attention in some way. And you'd be surprised how quick, easy it is to get someone's attention. You just go in and you're just like, you just shine. You flick your blinkers on in his front door, and people are just gonna have all units on Group 1, and they're gonna on Group 1 they're gonna have like everything they own, and they're just gonna send it at that front base, like inexperienced players, and you're like, well, good job, Nub, because now your workers are under attack by Dark Templars, and they're not gonna notice it. Huge eco advantage. You kill all his workers in his main base or secondary base, it just takes forever to get back, and it's just a pain to get back in the game. So experienced players will keep their eye. Maybe they'll have some photons here, something like that. You got to work ways of doing that. There's also some cheese strats you can do. You create what's called a proxy pylon or a proxy whatever. And what it is like you come up. Let's see if we find a different probe that's a little closer to what I'm doing. He works hard. He's gonna carry some crystals for this. You can get out of that place. Dang it. Whatever. Okay, let's say like your base is over here yonder somewhere, and you come to your opponent's base, right? Let's say like this is his, I don't know, like this is his entrance or something like that, and you kind of find like pretend these aren't here, like you just kind of find some kind of obscure place, and you kind of sneak a pylon somewhere, right? He doesn't know it's there. Sometimes you can go in his base, you can like say this is like my opponent's base, and I come with my probe, and you kind of understand where the range of vision is for stuff, And you kind of go down here, and he has to check that. And you pick a pylon down there. That's some tricky beans right there. And then you start, after that's done, you know, maybe this proxy pylon you got out close to your enemy's base and not exactly in your base, you make a gateway. So you come in here and you make a gateway, and you get a little bit more money, you make another gateway, and then gotta wait for those to be done. And so that's one strategy you can do, and I'll explain that in just a second. And this strategy, you come over here, and sometimes also people they'll make photon cannons. And it's such a pain, because like, you don't want photon cannons in your own base. And that's kind of a cheese strat, but and I don't actually do this particular strategy. I don't know why I don't. I just don't. But anyway, I've seen that before. So people can do that sometimes. Kind of annoying. And then, but you have this proxy base out here, right? And you, when it's done, you start making zealots. But you're like right next to this dude's base, for example, assuming this is a base. And your reinforcements are coming right next to his reinforcements coming in. Which brings to another point, and that would turn into like a big zealot battle, or zergling for zealot, whatever. Micro for Protoss is, I think, it's a little easier than other factions because your units are so much tougher. So they have kind of like a longer lifespan typically. So you have like a bunch of zealots here, right? And maybe you got maybe you're attacking another Protoss opponent, and you got 2 zealots here, and you got an enemy zealot here, and you know, I'm gonna slow this game down. So he comes in and he's doing his zealot thing, and he attacks you, and you attack him, right? You attack him, and you're like, okay, you're looking at this thing, and you see that your dude, he's gotten a health rate. Your dude's like damaged, right? And he does a attack. You move that guy back. He comes in. Okay, let me explain what just happened there. So, sorry, I couldn't talk for a second. This is the enemy zealot, and these guys are your dudes, and he's grabbing his zealots, he's hitting A, and he's hitting an attack run. It's going to attack the first thing that comes into contact, which is this guy. So they're attacking each other, and right before his shields get all the way, or very close to it, only 99 health out of 100, you pull him back. What happens is this guy is on an attack run command, so then he will stop attacking this guy, because this guy's right next to him, start attacking this guy. But this whole time you've been attacking this guy, and he's losing his health, where you only lost his shield. So you can literally, in that situation, you can just go like pull back, then pull forward. And you keep attacking this guy, and then the whole thing starts happening, and it's bad for your news for your opponent. And you didn't even, I mean, this guy is still at basically 100 health, so all you lost is shield, which regenerates. You can do those kind of tricks, right? You can pull and zealot back and pull another zealot forward and take use. But you know, your opponent is smarter than that. He's going to know that, and he's going to like pull that guy back, and you're pulling this guy back, and this guy goes forward, and it becomes like this, you know, this techno party, and it gets dicey. But those are some tricks you can do to keep your units alive longer, and it's really important in early game because sometimes it could just be a matter of a couple of zerglings, a couple of zealots, which will make you win or lose the game. But in larger battles, when you have like 200 zealots, not 200 zealots, you have like a bunch of zealots queued up, like maybe like 20 or 30, and you're buffering your immortals, whatever. It's not so important then because things are just happening so fast that you don't even have. You're better off producing more units than trying to micro that one zealot. Oh, he has 1 HP. Try to save him. No, just don't worry about it. He's gonna die. So those are some tricks that you can do. You can do the same thing with Stalkers, I showed you the blank. You can do the same thing with Immortals, because they have special shields, etc. And when a Protoss unit, is like out of battle for a while, then his shield generates really quickly. So, yeah, but unlike a Protoss and Zerg, there's no way to heal Protoss health. So, that's some little trickery things you can do with Protoss, which is really fun. I think... Got scouting, got expanding, more or less. Not really to get expanding, I don't really know. But I do know expanding's important. You gotta make sure you expand. You can't. I don't want to see any of these bases. You don't do this crap. So as far as disadvantages goes, for Protoss, it's probably the hardest team to split your units up because in Zerg you have so many units. You can create so many flanks and so many things. But Protoss is like you got like big units like this. It's a single unit, so micro is essential for this unit because you don't want this guy to die, right? Because the Colossus, he costs what? 300 minerals, 200 gas, and 6 supply. That pylon provides only 8 supply. Besides your worker, the lowest supply unit you have, an observer, a combat unit, is a zealot, and it's 100 minerals and it takes 2 supply. So micro is essential for Protoss. But like I said, not to say that Protoss can't hold their own because they do have the toughest units. But on top of all that, it's still important to micro. You got to use your spells. You got to use your psychic storms. You got to use your force fields. Whatever it takes to make your units last that much longer.